Hey everyone, what's up? It's Babylonius from WalkingTheWind.com here with another commentary video, this time coming to you at Mythic Trilliax. This is the third boss in Mythic Nighthold following Chronomatic Anomaly. And there's not a big difference between Mythic and Heroic, so I'll get things started. The main difference between Mythic and Heroic is obviously more damage, and then partway through the fight the boss will summon a second ad that you will promptly have to focus down, keep interrupted, dispelled, stuff like that. So potentially just dispel. I'm not sure if he has anything need to interrupt, but like I said, there's not a lot to do. This is a fight where you can start off the fight with using both stacks of Storm, Earth, and Fire. You can use something like Touch of Karma and stand in the purple. It's very easy to get your stacks to eat up Touch of Karma that way. Just be wary because it does do a lot of damage if you're standing in it extra. But you can use both stacks because there's not a lot else to do. You can try and get as much Storm, Earth, and Fire time into the boss, into your potions, during Bloodlust and stuff like that. So this is one of the few fights where it's very easy to use both stacks, and then stacks will start to be up when the ad is summoned. So in general, there's also this cake, as you'll see me roll to, which helps to soak, because you want to have as little cake, if any at all, up as possible. But this is primarily a single target fight, with a priority target ad that will show up in a little bit. So there's not much to talk about during this phase. It's just avoiding the purple stuff, attacking the boss, eating the cake when you need to. In 2 seconds, he's going to go into his annihilation phase. He'll jump in the middle and spit out a beam, a la Hallion, back from Wrath. If anyone did that, then you understand the horror that was Hallion. Here's a little bit of video lag, which is great, always useful to see. So during this time, you're just going to avoid the beam. Don't get too close to the boss either, because obviously the beam goes through him. It's a part of the fight where you can very easily kill yourself, resulting because of Whirling Dragon Punch, which tosses you up in the air and stops you from being able to move. So you definitely want to avoid doing so, or at least if if Whirling Dragon Punch is up, you're going to want to make sure that you avoid the beams at all costs. So here I soak a couple bits of Touch of Karma as well. You can somewhat use Touch of Karma and get some extra bonus damage out of it if you are able to soak a large chunk of the damage at the start and then wait towards the end. It will continue to tick down. It's a very small amount of additional damage, but like I said, it is some more damage. So so as you'll see, he's going to phase shift in a couple seconds here, and from this phase shift is when we're going to get the other ad. I believe it is a kind of identical copy. It comes out of these grates to the side. As you can see, the other monks, Storm, Earth, and Fire Spirits, go flying off to greet him. And this is a time where there's a little bit of cleave, but really your priority is going to be taking down Trilliax's imprint. So you want to use Storm, Earth, and Fire. This is when you're going to want to use another potion, stuff like that, to burn him down as quickly as possible. If your raid is good at keeping him dispelled, because he does gain mana and stuff, you want to prevent him from gaining mana. If your raid is good at keeping him dispelled, then you have a little bit more time to cleave off of both of them. But really, this is a situation where you want to have as much Storm, Earth, and Fire uptime as you can. So you'll see me pop it again right as it comes up. And really, the priority damage is on the imprint. So you certainly can focus your Storm, Earth, and Fire targets on the imprint if you so wish. We had a lot more time until he was going to be able to pop, so I didn't need to focus them on him. But I have since started doing that. But this is a situation where you want to try and minimize the damage taken, focus on the imprint, and then things kind of go back to the way that they were. Diffuse Magic is useful on this fight because of the excessive magic damage. Like I said in the heroic commentary, the damage done to Scrubbers is not counted in Warcraft logs. It is counted on your in-game damage log, but not Warcraft logs, so don't bother trying to scumbag or pad on the Scrubbers. You can use them to get a little bit more stacks of Mark of the Crane, but really you're not going to be able to get enough stacks to merit using Spinning Crane Kick in this single target situation anyway. So really understand that you don't want your Storm, Earth, and Fire Spirits to be going all over the place. So as you can see, like in Heroic, I got Arcing Bonds. I really almost very rarely get it, which connects you to somebody typically arranged, and then you want to kind of run back in. So because this was Mythic, I looked to minimize my damage taken, and I went out to meet them. and then we both came back into melee. So here's another annihilation phase. You want to try to avoid taking as much damage as possible. The healers are moving a lot during this time, so you don't want to put any extra pressure on them. I was saving my next Storm, Earth, and Fire because at this next phase shift will be another imprint coming out. As you can see, here comes the other imprint. Typically, if your raid DPS is decent, you will be focusing on all your damage on Trilliax, while the Dispellers and stuff will keep the imprint dispelled, because it's not typically worth focusing damage away from Trilliax, as the imprint normally has more damage than Trilliax does himself. But this is a time that you can get a little bit extra cleave damage on the boss. The imprint damage does count towards ranking, so feel free to cleave your little head off. But primarily you're going to be focused on Trilliax during this time. So focus, if you're going to use Storm, Earth, and Fire during now, focus it on Trilliax. Make sure that he's taking as much damage as possible. There's not much that Windwalkers can do for the others. To the imprint in regards to keeping him dispelled and stuff. So there's not very much to do there. Just kind of attack Trilliax and try to avoid taking damage. So that is Mythic Trilliax. Not a very difficult fight. Not a huge difference from Heroic. The first three on Mythic are not very difficult in comparison to Heroic. So hopefully you enjoyed this commentary and like this form of content. If you do, please let me know. That what your thoughts on this, whether there are things I could talk about more, talk about less, go into more depth, stuff like that. So please let me know your thoughts on this style of commentary, because until I get more feedback that prompts me to change, I'm just going to be kind of keeping on doing what I'm doing and making stuff up as I go. So I hope you enjoyed this. You can like, comment, subscribe to this video, and check out all my other videos. I have guides, I have live Q&A videos, recordings. There's all of my boss kills really for the past couple years are on my YouTube channel, as well as guides to my spreadsheets and other stuff like that. So you can follow me on Twitter at Babylonius Monk, or check out my website walkingthewind.com, which hopefully you've checked out already. And if you enjoyed all this content that I provide, which is an enormous amount of content in my opinion, please support me through Patreon or PayPal, which you can find in the description, or through links on the video, as well as on walkingthewind.com. All that money goes to help fund me doing all this stuff and keeping up, rationalizing spending all this additional time on my computer instead of with my wife and daughter. So thank you very much for listening. I hope this answers more questions than it creates, and until next time, I'll see you later.